G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, we're going to be checking out this bad boy right here. Now, this is the Turnigy Evolution radio, and this is pretty much designed for FPV pilots, or those racers out there who want a really simple, easy to use radio that works perfect with their racing quad. Now, a little disclaimer, this is the second time that I've actually filmed this intro, because I did it first before when it was in the box, and then I took it out and I flew with this thing. So this has totally changed my mind, I think, on what I want in a radio. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be sticking it on the bench, giving it a full breakdown, looking at all its features and those sorts of things, and we'll also be comparing it to the Taranis as well a little bit, because the Taranis, the FrSky Taranis at the moment, is the most popular FPV radio right out there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take it down to the field and fly around with it, because I put a ton of batteries through this thing, and it has totally changed my mind on sort of things that I want in a radio, and I know you guys are going to love it. So we'll go down to the field, we'll fly it around, and then we'll have some closing comments about it, because I know you guys are going to love it. Anyway, let's get started. Alrighty, so here it is on the bench, and the first thing I think straight away that I really want to show you guys is how awesome is this, because I don't know about you guys when you're carrying around your Taranis and where you're deciding where to put that, and people build different little mods and stuff, and you have to really keep it safe. This thing, this is one feature. Well, there's actually a ton of features I like of this thing. It comes with this awesome little plastic case, literally clips on there. You're ready to throw that in your backpack. So that is one thing that I really like about this transmitter. Now, what we're going to do, because we are going to be comparing the Turnigy Evolution and going right through that, and I probably will be referencing the Taranis quite a bit, I'm going to keep this in handy. But the first thing I want to do, let's weigh it as well, because that is probably one of the biggest differences. Look at the size. So here's your standard radio that we're all used to, and don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my Taranis. It has served me very well, and it's going to be very interesting to see how I feel about it once I've actually taken this out and actually used it in the field a bit more. But let's just weigh them. So if we weigh our Taranis, we'll see how much that's going to come in there. I'm going to guess, just a guess, at 2 kilos, but I really have no... Oh, man, I'm so bad at that hefting. There we go. So that's coming in at 817 grams. Let's have... I'm not even going to guess, but let's pretend we're going to be using the Evolution right here. So it's 343 grams. So less than half the weight of an actual Taranis. So I think that's extremely good. So now let's move on and let's have a bit of a look at some of the features. So the biggest one is probably just like an ergonomic thing. So I don't know about you, but this thing to me looks very much like an Xbox remote or something like that. So you can see when you're holding this, it's much more natural to anybody who's been playing, I guess, some video games or grown up playing some things in the past. What I would say, if you're a pincher on here, that definitely, pinching feels awkward to me anyway, but if I've seen actually a video where Hobby King said that this could also work for pinchers, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. But in my opinion, you're only going to be getting this radio if you're actually going to be using your thumbs when you're flying, so if you're a thumber. It doesn't sound very good. And in saying that, it does fit my hands very nicely. It really does feel comfortable when I've got my hands sitting on here. So when I was first flying with the Taranis, it actually felt a little bit uncomfortable for me, especially towards the inside of the sticks right here. But this one feels much more suited. But maybe that's just because I spent so many years playing video games. Anyway, that's probably what that is. Right, let's have a bit of an overview of the actual buttons that are on here. So of course you've got your two little gimbals right here. I think this is for like a gimbal or something like that. You've got a 2-position switch right there, and then all you have on the back is 2 3-position switches right here, and you can set all these up to do anything that you like. So they're like, it can be your auxiliary switches, but yeah, overall very simple, and that's what they're really going for. They're really going after this sort of drone racing market, I think, and I think they're going to do a good job. I'm going to pull this little sticker off because it is so simple. You don't need all that stuff. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the TBS Tango, which I've reviewed as well, and I'll leave a link to that up here as well. But look, really, to be honest, I don't use too many. All my switches on my Taranis, I literally only use 2. So I've got like my arm switch and my buzzer switch, and then maybe a mode switch. So this thing has more than enough switches on here. So that's something that I'm all about, keeping it simple. If I was going to fly fixed wing or do some aerial photography or something, I might want something with a few more options. But if you're just into drone racing, I think you're going to be very happy with this. Rightio, let's turn it on. Alrighty. So there we go. So I've turned it on, and here's one thing you're going to notice straight away, because I thought this was pretty cool, even though it's pretty gimmicky. If you move your gimbals up and down, they actually do change color. So, and you do have all sorts of options if you want to turn that off and on. And here's where I got a little bit tricked. When I first turned this on, of course, I opened up and started playing with it, and I don't know if I'm like any of you guys, but I kind of read the instructions last and like to muck around and just press all the buttons and see what they do. And I was pressing, this is the on-off button here, I was pressing that. I was trying to figure out how could I get into the menu, and I didn't realize that this was touchscreen. So I think, yeah, so I didn't realize that this was a touchscreen setup. So I am going to be dimming the lights in a minute so we can have a look. But that was something that I was really, really impressed with. So what we're going to do, let's dim the lights so hopefully we can see this a little bit better. Alrighty, so I've zoomed in a little bit and hopefully my fingers don't get in the way a little bit too much. You can't use my good old-fashioned chopstick right here because you do have to use your finger. So let's have a look at some of the options we've got. So to keep it simple, let's start off with the simplest one. Just clicking down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you can set up some timers and you can scroll through those. There's a whole bunch of different options. I really like how it scrolls through this actually. It's going to make it a lot quicker when setting up my models and all that sort of stuff. So you can set up all your little timers. I'm not going to go through the exact how-abouts to do that. On the top part here, this is something I really like. Clicking on the battery, you can set up some batteries for your radio. So not only are you going to get your voltage alarms and you can set them up and down and all those sorts of things, but you can also do that on your receiver. So when you're flying around, you can check your, you can sort of get your telemetry back as well. Jumping over, this is probably where all the good stuff is. So in this little menu right here, you can reverse your sticks, endpoints. Let's just rattle these off. You can change your auxiliary channels. You can do a bit of trimming, your failsafe, your RX binding, which is amazing. I'll talk about that as well in a little bit. Some stuff for your LED setup. I think if you want to change your stick mode, that's like sort of what mode 1, mode 2, that sort of stuff. You can put your models in here and change all the models and those sorts of things. And then there's a few extra options at the bottom about the firmware. What I am going to touch on right now, and this is a bit of a, let's say, select model. You can only currently have up to 5 models on this, and really for me that's a massive limitation. Now if you've got more than 5 quads out there that you want to fly, I really think that's a bit of a letdown. So I could you know, for me, I've got quite a few on the wall. You've all seen that wall, so for me that's a bit of a letdown with this. I wish it could hold up to 20 because I can't imagine a model is going to take up very much room. Alright, and then we've got this part here, our receiver bind. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit because this is probably one of my favorite features about this radio. Really, really beginner friendly. So I'm going to zoom out so we can get a bit of a better picture of the whole quad when I do the binding procedure. Alrighty, so all I'm going to do, I'm going to click on RX bind, and the receiver I'm going to be binding to, this one is the one that came with it. So this is the IO6C receiver. I've got my little build that I've been working on over here, so I'll put that over here somewhere. It looks pretty cool actually. And we're going to simply plug it in because it's an S-bus receiver. Then all I have to do is power the quad, and look how easy this is. I don't have to hold any buttons or anything like that. Simply plug this in. It just bound, and that is it. So you can see by my lights, that's how easy it is to bind your receiver. No longer do you have to press buttons or hold anything in. So I love how simple they've made that feature. Now you can go in and you can set your failsafe up in here as well. So I know for channel 3, I'm going to turn that on because my failsafe, my throttle should be at 0. So let's set that up. So that's pretty good. All right. So now my failsafe is set and I've bound my receiver. All I had to do was plug it in, so super, super easy. Let's get on with talking about some other things about the radio. Now while I'm here, this is the first time that I'm actually setting this radio up to fly with. You can change which one you have your auxiliary channels on. So you can see right here, channel 5, SWBC. Are they actually labeled on the back? Let's have a bit of a look. No, they're not actually labeled on here. So let me check the manual and we'll find out which one of these is which. Alright, so I've checked the manual. This one here is C, this is B, and this middle one is A. So that's how we can get those working. It's pretty much how I like it anyways. Now, in terms of battery life, I'm not sure how long this thing is going to last in the field, but I think it would last a little bit longer if you can turn your screen brightness down, you turn your LEDs off. But one thing I do like is right here, you've got this little micro, is that micro? Yeah, you've got this little micro USB little port right here, when all you can simply do is plug that in to charge your radio. And I've actually seen some little adapters actually where you can make, so you could probably charge this in and then use this to power your radio right here. So really, really cool being able to charge and fly with an external battery. So I think that's a nice little feature. And also what this is going to let you do, because it can charge from USB, you can also hook this up to the simulator. So you'll be able to fly something like hot props around with it, or something like FPV Freerider if you need to get some practice as well. So what I'm going to do now, I think, look, in terms of features, it's got everything that I need on here to fly. It's really light. The important thing is, how does it actually feel when you're flying this thing around? I love its size. I love how compact it is, but it doesn't have all the advanced features and all the OpenTX and all the really, really cool stuff you can do on the Taranis. But really, I don't use any of that stuff. 99% of the stuff on the Taranis I don't really use. For me, I only need like an arm switch and maybe a mode switch and maybe a buzzer. So that is literally it. So I'm very, very excited. What I'm going to do now, I might hook this up to the computer and then I'm going to bind it up to I'm going to finish building this little build that I've got here I'm very excited about. Let's take it down to the field and give it a bit of a thrashing around, and we'll talk about how these gimbals feel when we're actually flying, because that's something that's going to be very, very important to a lot of people. Right here, they feel very smooth, but I don't think I'm going to be able to tell until I'm out there in the field and I can do one flight on the Taranis and then compare it, jump onto a flight on this, jump back and forth, and get a real side-by-side sort of comparison. So you can see this took about 2 minutes to get this done on the sim, so you can definitely hook this up to your sim very, very easy if you want to practice some things. And for anybody interested, this sim is hot props, and I'll leave something in the description there as well. But yeah, a great way to practice, especially if you're new to the hobby. Jump on one of these sims, because it can really help you improve your stick time, and especially when you're starting out, it can be very, very useful. Anyway, let's cut down to the field. Alright, so I've got my Hawk hooked up to this, my Firehawk, and we're going to be flying the Turnigy Evolution. So this is actually my second flight with it because I forgot to hit record before, but let's see how it goes. So I'm pretty excited. I've been flying the Taranis all morning, and to be honest, this thing is feeling pretty awesome. So we'll do a bit of a flight, do some commentary, and talk about how it feels on the sticks, and I guess my overall impressions on it after flying with it a bit. Click my little arm switch. And this is just on 3S as well. I always like to warm up a little bit with 3S. But overall, it feels very, very smooth. The sticks feel a little bit softer than what I'm used to on my Taranis, so that's something a lot of people are going to get used to. But for the price, I really don't think people can complain. Like, I just did that $300 video where people use like the FrSky radio, and for a little bit more money, you can get this. Would I make the switch over to this? The one part that holds me back is that you can only have 5 models, because honestly, if I could have more than that, then because I've got a few quads on the wall, that's going to really hold me up when I want to come out and do some flying. But for a first-time pilot, or just, if I only had 5 quads, this probably would be the one that I'm going to fly more. The more I fly it, actually, the more that I enjoy it. If there was some way to make the sticks a little bit tighter, that probably would be a big improvement. Look, and there might be that. Maybe I just don't know that function. But overall, I'm sort of having a blast flying this thing. It feels good. I thought it was going to take a lot more to get used to. Yeah, and if you're someone who's just getting into quads and you're sort of after a first-time radio, I don't even know about first time. Like, this thing might actually, you don't have to worry about the antenna breaking. Yeah, this feels great. I should give Trevor a go actually too and see what he thinks, because it'd be very interesting to get his opinion. And for $89, yeah, I'm actually, as I'm flying this around, I'm sort of considering, would I fly this permanently? But yeah, for the second flight, I thought this would be feeling a lot more weird, but it feels great. Ooh. I'm going to bring it in for a landing. We'll see if we can reach that disarm switch. Alright, so I've been flying the Evolution all morning, and what I'm going to do, because I've just been saying to Trevor, like, I actually might be making the switch to it, so I'm going to definitely be buying a bunch more receivers. But I've given it over to Trev, and we're going to get his impressions, because he's been flying the Taranis a long time as well, and it's always good to get other pilots' opinions. So let's see how we go. He's flying my quad, so you better be careful. So you got to talk to me, Trevor. All about the radio, less about the quad, more about the actual radio that we're using.
Smooth, I like it. It's a little bit different, as you'd expect.
What about for someone like just wanting to buy a radio? They don't have any radios at all.
Well, it feels comfy straight away. Like, it's really comfortable to hold. It's oh look, I like it. 80, well, how was it? 80, 90 bucks or something.
Some Australian, so it's
yeah,
like
that's
$1.50 American.
Yeah. This is really nice.
What about in terms of the gimbal stiffness compared to the Taranis? What do you think?
Oh, look, it doesn't feel much different. I just like it. It's just smooth. It's like it's just straight out of the box, and it's really nice to fly already.
Well, you're talking about my quad too. I'm a better builder than Trevor, so that's probably why it feels better.
I talk about the quads flying like crap, but the the controller's really nice. It is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to break an antenna or anything like that. It's got that really cool cover that comes with it.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. I was thinking about getting another Taranis too. There's a spare. I'm not going to now. This is really cool. It's way better than I thought it would be. Gee, this is going to knock the Taranises about.
You can't do much programming or anything like that though. That's one of it. That's something.
Is it?
No OpenTX. But I mean, yeah, for that price, with the receiver.
Well, what do you need?
The receivers are $10. That's the crazy part. Like 10 Australian dollars, so less than that US.
S-Bus?
Yeah, S-Bus. All right, so Trevor, we just sort of wrap it up in like 4 words.
I'm sold. Buying one.
All right, yeah, mine would probably be cheap but awesome. $10 receiver.
3 words.
All right, so that's it down in the field. Let's jump back to the workshop and wrap this video up. Rightio, so there it is. There's my little sort of mini review down in the field of this. And a big question a lot of people are going to be asking is, Stuart, is this better than the FrSky Taranis? Now, better is a big word, and look, it doesn't have as many features as that. But if you said to me, Stuart, are you going to make the switch and fly something like this? Yeah. This is my new radio. I can't believe I'm saying this. I never expected that to happen. I don't like how it can only hold 5 models. That part is a little bit annoying, and because I've got like a ton of FrSky receivers, so that part's going to suck changing those over. But these receivers are only like $10 for this. I love everything about this radio. So this was totally unexpected. I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be that good. So if you're after a new radio, or maybe a backup radio, or maybe you just want to give this one a try, because I mean, look at the size. You know, if you're one of those pilots that flies with their thumbs, you guys are going to love this. And if you've grown up on video games, like I think, you know, a lot of us probably have, this thing feels right at home. So I am so impressed with this radio. I can't recommend it enough. Straight after I finish this video, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be jumping on the website and buying like another 10 receivers, or actually 5 receivers, so I can bind them all up to this, because I'm going to be using this in all my future builds. I still will be using my Taranis when it calls for it, and I do have a ton of receivers and a ton of cords bound up to that, but I'm going to put my favorite ones on this. Just how easy it is, how good it feels in your hand, how simple, and it works. So yeah, massive props to the guys over at Turnigy. I think the Evolution is my current pick of like the best radio out there. I think for terms of value for money, the features, everything about it, totally blown away. You can probably tell how excited I am about it. Anyway, I'm rambling. Hopefully that guy, hopefully that helps some of you guys out there, or who are interested in picking one of these up, because yeah, a fantastic radio. Anyway, subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page, because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAVfutures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.